Kelly's still very, very much in the picture, in even reasonable waves. You know, he's still, even at 47 years old, but it is going to be a bit more of a challenge. I mean, there's a lot of great surfers on this tour.
Let's get caught up on what's unfolded so far in this 30-minute exchange. Slater had this one earlier on, banking a 3.33. It's the second event that he surfed in this season. He turned up down there at Manly to surf in a qualifying sit. Great to have your company for the opening round of competition for 2019. The World Surf League Championship Tour kicking off at Duranbar. Very fun conditions for our competitors. We're going to get a look at the lineup out in the water at the moment. Yago Dora taking this left apart. A rookie last season. Found a bit of form towards the back end of the year and really looking to go a lot higher on the ratings in 2019. He only had one heat win, but he was pretty impressive in the smaller conditions, Pete.
Absolutely, and that's probably one of the biggest challenges for him is surfing small waves. So, you know, as you get a little older, it's a little harder to be have that quick twitch muscles and keep them sharp, and he's done very well to keep those sharp.
Welcome to the Quiksilver Pro. If you're joining us on the Fox Sports Network, we've got Italo Ferreira, who went on an absolute tear through last season, placing very high on the Jeep leaderboard. The Brazilian goofy footer is ramping up towards a title campaign in 2019.
Great flow in Manly in 1 foot waves.
Looked after himself pretty well. This is the replay of Italo's ride from earlier on. Big explosive first turn, not a lot on the inside, but this guy can make magic happen on a very small flat sections. He's just remarkable. I don't think we've ever seen anyone like him.
And that's just, I mean, again, his youth and exuberance and his spontaneity.
Well, here he is again. He just dropped the 3.77 in second place. Just needs a 1.97 out of this ride to jump up into the #1 position. Some changes to our format in 2019. We'll see first and second progress through this round. And third place, I'll have to fight through round 2.
As we look at the replay here, you know, the one big advantage for Italo is that he grew up on a little right-hand point break, so his backhand is as solid as it's come. Matter of fact, it's probably one of his major weapons. You know, he can go vertical. He's got aerials, all sorts of different directions. The quickness that he carries. I mean, he's got a rodeo. He's got all sorts of weapons that he can use, both forehand and backhand.
0.9, 3.77. No big numbers dropped just yet. Yago Dora holding on to a 5.5. Nice big section for him. Over there in Rio, we'll come back to that point as we see Italo up once again. So just keeping very busy. This is his third ride, trying to dispose of a 3.77 here. Should do that. So solid on his feet. That really even distribution of weight. You touched on it before. It just means he's so rock solid when he's planning his turns. He really doesn't have to make those weight adjustments because he's just so centered.
Yeah, it becomes natural. The fins will drift in the lip, no worries. You know, the aerials, he's always planted. He's always going to land with both feet, just like a cat does, you know, and they land on their feet every time. He has that ability. He's just got that cat-like grace and that quickness that he carries in and out of the lip. I mean, here's an example in this closeout section where he's able to drift and show that little extra in the maneuver. It's not just the floater maneuver. He gets up there and then unweights his back foot. He's able to drift the fins along the lip line, stay balanced, and then come off of that section with speed. Other times you got to work for it. So it feels like just decision making at ends of heats and stressful situations, maybe to learn how to deal with that a little better.
We'll be keeping a close eye on him this year as Yago Dora frees up the fins on that first section, sticking this with this wave, hoping for a reform on the inside. Approaching the shoreline now. Gets a couple more opportunities. Up into the lip a couple of times. Nice sequence of backhand turns there. Had a 5.5 earlier on, and he only needed a 2.17 to jump into the lead. And he will be the front runner heading into the final 18 minutes here.
Go finishing runner up.
Here's Slater. What can he put on the board in reply to these two youngsters? Had a 3.33 earlier on. Not sure just yet what he's going to be chasing to get himself into a advancing position, because Yago's going to put a pretty good number on the board, you'd think. Italo also waiting on a score. Let's shift the conversation towards Kelly Slater, the greatest of all time. Holds most records in surfing. 11 world titles. Just the most championship tour wins. And he's had plenty of victories here on the Gold Coast as well. A quick wave there for Kelly. So he's waiting on a couple of numbers now, but you really got to think about it, just how long Kelly has been contending near at Chopu and Pipeline. He's arguably still the best at reading those kind of conditions. So they're going to be his big opportunities to win. And if he can cause some upset results in these kind of conditions, that's going to be huge for his campaign.
He can be very unbeatable in great conditions.
Look out, Italo loading up, huge frontside air attempt there, but can't quite stomp it. Landed in that high impact section of the wave where the lip was falling. But you love it when he takes off, opens up that stance and lines up a ramp. Slater losing control there for a moment, but reeling it back in. He knows that's not going to be what the judges are looking for. Yago Dora out the back, having a look at this one. Just a quick peek down the line. Can see there's no scoring opportunity there, but he is currently leading this heat. Italo Ferreira in second spot, looking for a 5.41 to jump into first. Slater back in third. He's chasing a 5.34. Gave the title race a good nudge, claiming a couple of big victories. Saw Yago Dora up there. He's in heat 3 of this first round and currently out in front. Unsuccessful on that aerial attempt though. Yeah, in the last 10 years, the surfer who's finished first or second on the Gold Coast has finished first or second on the championship tour as well. So pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, so it just goes to show exactly how important the beginning of the season can be. And that's why he's so good, and that's why he wins World's titles, because he can win each and every event on the schedule.
Well, here's Italo. Just working this board over. Amazing how much speed he can generate as he thrusts his equipment through those top turns. So a smaller ride, but he's just chipping away. He needs to get himself a 5.41 out of that ride to jump up into the lead. Championship Tour wins now and world titles is if you're not surfing hard and risking falling at some stage on your rides, you're not going to get those really big numbers. Here goes Kelly Slater, has some speed and a nice face here. Beautiful roundhouse cutback. Needs to load up and let go of something huge here on the inside. Big vertical jam, drops out of the lip. Has more room to move, drifts that tail. The equipment looks good as Slater finishes this one on the inside. And swings his board into reverse, staying with it. Trying to ride out of that foam. Didn't quite emerge out of the whitewater, but still let go of a nice sequence of turns on the outside, Pete.
Such great flow. Really, that's one of the things. He looks so relaxed as he compresses into his bottom turns, and then all of a sudden that transfers into speed off the rail. Such good glide. Great wave choice once again too, considering that this wave gave him nice green face and a couple great sections. This one here, beautiful roundhouse cutback, you know, and kept that speed up all the way through, engaging the rail. This one here, straight up vertical. Probably could have pressed it a bit more, you know, I think showed a little bit higher risk, but drifting, that's that top to bottom surfing. This could be his best wave. You know, and at this point he's trying to not get into that last place position of third, because that's where you go into round 2 with this new format. But look at this straight up vertical tag. Great technique. He compresses in and out of it, just releases with the extra speed. You know, he's been working with his equipment now very closely, you know, and he's been able to work closely with all of his shapers throughout his career. And so that's translated now that he is in tune with his equipment.
A career that has spanned a number of generations. He's come up against greats of the sport, including Luke Egan, who was on tour when Kelly arrived.
Luke, Pete here as Kelly stands up on this one. Take a look at it. But question for you. I mean, do you feel like that when you were on tour, did you look at your opponent and actually strategize your heat against that opponent?
I used to weigh it up and see how many things I had to make sure the things I needed to take care of were a priority. I could get them done pretty quick. Yeah, absolutely. You start looking at your opponent and see maybe electrify some of the things that you have that they don't, so the judges can see the scale of that. But Kelly was he's just still the king. Doesn't matter what he does this year, he's always going to be the king, and he was the best at it.
Kelly's winning percentage was so high back then when you were on tour with him, and there must have been an intimidation factor. Do you think this current generation feel that same fear? Unbelievable air there from Yago Dora. Huge, beyond full rotation.
Back-to-back, he's had 2 of them in these last 2 exchanges here, so he's looking good. Only seen good scores today. I mean, up to a 6.5 really is where you're starting to see, but this is one big air. And with that nose pointed back towards that jet.
Want to be out there with the best, surfing against the best so they can produce their best. And who else to be out there with but the GOAT?
Love it. Thank you, Luke. Loving having the former world number 2 here with us on the commentary team for the Quiksilver and Boost Mobile Pro. Here we go. Italo up at the moment. He's chasing a big section down the line here. Incredible whip through that air reverse. Unbelievable. So some big exchanges unfolding now.
Great stuff. And then watch the explosiveness from this section here as you wait for it. But watch how he is exploding towards the beach, and he gets such the whip and the high rotation of the tail above the lip. I mean, that's why. Look at how compressed he is, and he just 100% gets that grab. Releases right at the last set grab, and one with just the ollie.
Well, these guys are serving their first championship tour heat right now, and we're already seeing fireworks. The highlight reel is going to be fantastic at the end of our first round of competition as Yago looks to drop another big number in. This time last year, surfing in his first championship tour event, obviously you could see the nerves. He didn't look that comfortable in this jersey. Second year in, and Yago looking completely freed up and just like a different surfer, really. Slater, he's in that really desperate spot at the moment. He wants to claw his way into the top 2 here and progress through to the third round. Here he is, up into the first section, gets a bit of release in that tail. This wave has a nice tapered wall for a big carve. Unfortunately, a bit of a bump in it, and the wave split in 2. So Slater's going to finish up in 3rd spot and have to fight his way out of the second round, it looks like.
He looked good, all right. You know, it just came up against something that we knew was going to happen in this heat. You know, Italo and Yago were going to go above the lip.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay too much attention to the results. I don't think it's indicated the form of the competitors so far, because Owen Wright, Geordie Smith showed great form coming into the contest. Even Kelly's been looking very sharp, but it's Yago, Dora and Italo Ferreira progressing through to the third round.